What's up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and I am here today, you guys, with a brand new review for Married to Medicine Season 11 Reunion Part 1. Now, before we go ahead and get into the review, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and you guys aren't subscribed yet, then I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, and sharing the video. And with that out of the way, you guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into Married to Medicine Reunion, shall we? All right, you guys, so if you guys haven't noticed, went to the orthodontist today, and with my rubber bands, they are now making me wear them in the shape of a triangle. So the bottom tear right here, and then this triangle right here, baby, in my mouth. It just feels uncomfortable talking and moving my mouth with these open, but I gotta wear these like this for 6 weeks until Cinco de Mayo. Now, reunion part 1. Let me know what you guys thought about it down in the comment section below. Now, you guys won't see this video until after I get off my live for the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So you guys will probably see this. Well, when you see this, it's probably 5:30, maybe 6 o'clock in the afternoon, or 5:30ish, 5:30, maybe 6. Tell me what you guys thought about it. So I did watch it last night on Bravo, but I went and rewatched it on Peacock because you guys know with Peacock, you guys can hear the cussing. And I love the cussing, so that's what we did today. Now, we get to the reunion. I don't think I've talked about the fashions, but overall, it's an interesting look. If I had to pick a best dress, I would say I like Toya's dress. I do like Toya's dress. I will say one thing, although Letitia's dress is ugly as fuck, sitting down, it doesn't look nearly as bad as it did standing up, right? Dr. Contessa, I like her dress. I like Dr. Heavenly's dress, minus the choker around Dr. Heavenly's neck. Dr. Jackie, I mean, she looks okay. Quad, I hate Quad's hair, but I love her dress. Hate her hair, love her dress. Dr. Mimi, it's her first reunion, so I'm not going to go too hard on Dr. Mimi. Dr. Simone, yikes. I don't know what that dress is that Dr. Simone had on, but moving on. So, we get to the reunion. I don't know if I want to talk. I don't care about the seating arrangement. I just still never, I get why Dr. Jackie and Dr. Simone are always first chair, but it makes no sense to me, nonetheless. But, so it's Dr. Simone, it is Toya, Letitia, and Contessa. Other couch, Dr. Jackie, Quad, and Heavenly. Now, we get to the reunion. It is interesting to see that Dr. Contessa is on the reunion stage, even though Dr. Contessa was a friend of this season, but she's there. So Andy asked Dr. Contessa if she watched last season, right? She said she did watch last season and that it was painful to watch and that she was glad that she wasn't a part of it, right? So then they talk about Phaedra, and Andy asks, has anybody talked to Phaedra? Toya says she's talked to Phaedra, and Phaedra said, he asked her, well, did Phaedra say she was going to come? What did she say about coming or something like that? And she said that Phaedra told her she wouldn't help that show for shit. I mean, okay, girl, it is what it is. So then they showed a never before seen clip of Phaedra. Now, in the first clip, the producer was asking her, what did she learn from the Married to Medicine girls? And I think it's very interesting that at last season with Phaedra, at the reunion, she was talking about how the girls on Real Housewives of Atlanta, they would push for you to get a divorce, but with the Married to Medicine girls, they would fight for you to stay married. And she feels like if she was on with this group, she would still be married. But now you calling them trash and demonic minions from hell. But you also called the Real Housewives of Atlanta the Titanic, and now you back over there on the Titanic. But okay, cool. Then she said that they are those type of black women that are mean to other women. They fat, they ugly. I was like, wow, you really going far. But I knew she wasn't saying it. I don't think she was calling them fat and ugly. I think she was just saying that they look down on women who are, I guess, fat and ugly. She called them jealous and hateful. I was like, wow, this is a lot of stuff coming from Phaedra when you, the same person, the same thing that you're describing them to be is something that you are as well. But I mean, if that's what Phaedra feels, then that's what Phaedra feels. But cool. Now, we move back. The ladies are kind of shocked by what she said, and they were like, they ain't never done nothing to the magnitude of what Phaedra did, right, with Candy. And then Dr. Heavenly was like, can I break the fourth wall? So Dr. Heavenly says that, Apollo wanted to film this season, and so she reached out to Phaedra. Phaedra says she knows everything about Apollo, everything that Apollo does or something to that. Yeah, everything that he does, and that, it was okay for Dr. Heavenly to reach out to him and try to get him on the show. You guys, we did see that clip of her where she was like, it's okay to bring him, let it be a surprise and all that kind of stuff. So we did see that. And I mean, in this instance, I believe heavily in what she's saying. Let's pause here and let's move forward. All right, you guys. So after that, we move on to Quad. So they showed Quad's package. They showed her with King. They showed some of the, everything that's happened with Quad, right? So then we get into it, and we're immediately talking about Napa again. I'm like, God, when are we gonna be done with Napa? Now here's actually, know what? I'm gonna hold on to what I'm thinking, and we're gonna save it for a little bit later in the review. But we talk about Napa, right? And Simone, actually, we didn't talk about Napa just right away. We talked about Simone and Quad's relationship. So Quad says that, she and Dr. Simone, they are in a good space with each other right now, right? But she did say that she has to work through what happened at last season's reunion every day, right? Now, Andy didn't catch it at first. He thought she was talking about Napa, but she was like, no, I'm talking about what happened at this stage, on this stage last year. And you guys remember when Dr. Simone was like, she's been there for Quad. She was there when something, catastrophic happened in Quad's life, right? And I still have my same sentiments. I got where Simone was coming from, but when Quad said stop, I think Simone should have stopped last season, and then that's that. Now, we did talk about Napa. So Dr. Simone feels that she didn't owe Quad an apology for Napa. Quad begs to differ. Again, why are we talking about Napa? Like, I'm really asking the question, why are we discussing Napa? Now, do I think that let's be real. When it comes to the whole Napa situation, like I've said plenty of times before, I don't feel much for Quad when it comes to Napa because of the same thing that happened to Mariah. And remember, Mariah's situation was even worse. Mariah had a miscarriage. Mariah came to that cast trip with that boot on her foot, and them helpers asked her to leave that trip. So I don't feel too bad for Quad. I really don't. But at the same time, they can't do all this stuff without the okay of production. The producers have to be like, okay, cool. If y'all want to get rid of them, the producers probably got in their ear too and said something to them. Let's just be real about it. So then Toya is saying that, it wasn't all of us who asked you to leave. It was Simone who asked you to leave. And she said, Heavenly, did you know? Heavenly says, no. Jackie, you know. And Jackie says, no. And Simone said, I didn't even know it was going to come out of my mouth until I said it. And I honestly feel like Simone, I honestly feel like that's bullshit. Do you guys think that that's bullshit? Because I really, truly do. Let me know what you guys think, right? Then Simone also says that Quad gives the girls her ass to kiss, right? I mean, I do agree with that. And let me explain why. Not to go too deep into the Married to Medicine history, but, excuse me, y'all. But we can't forget that the season of Married to Medicine when Quad was on Sister Circle, I know everybody we bring up Sister Circle a lot, right? Which is true. When she was on that show, yes, she did invite her friends on the show. But when I will never forget that season when you had that party and you thanked them Sister Circle girls, and you basically you literally did give these women your ass to kiss. And then when that show got canceled, then you had to come scurrying back with your tail between your tucked between your legs because shit. What else I got? I know she does. I know she got her cookbook, but besides that, what else Quad got? Let's just be real about the situation. Quad needs this. I ain't saying that she needs this show, but if she wants to remain in, semi-relevant, then this show is it. Now, what do I think Quad should stay on this show? No, because I don't think that any of these women are her friends. That is all I will say. So then after that, Simone and Quad were going back and forth with each other, right? So then Andy asked Toya the question. You guys remember this season, Toya felt like those apologies that were given to Quad were inauthentic, right? And so Andy asked Quad, I mean not Quad, he asked Toya, why did you think that? So Toya's whole thing is, I feel like they were, not sincere because they didn't want to do this, like go back and forth with Quad. Heavenly says, my apology was real and mine was sincere. And she says, like with Jackie only apologized to you because she didn't want to go back and forth with you. And so Quad turns to Jackie and is like, Jack, is that true? So Jackie was like, my apology was sincere to you, but I didn't want to go back and forth with you, so I ended it. I was like, so you just validated what Toya said. You didn't want to go back and forth with her because Jackie said she felt as if it was going to be a thing of where she had to keep going back and forth with Quad about it. But here's my thing. Here's the thing. You can have the back and forth with Quad. And I mean, well, we all know how Jackie is because let's not forget how she did Buffy. Even though Buffy ain't my favorite person, let's not forget how Dr. Jackie did Buffy and brushed Buffy off with that. That wasn't even an apology. That wasn't an apology that Dr. Jackie gave to Buffy. But neither here nor there, right? Neither here nor there. So then we move on and we talk about this whole Letitia saying that Quad is jealous of her. Letitia, I like you, but what is there to be jealous of? Like Quad said, Gregory talks to you like you shit on a stick. Now, I will give Letitia a point. I'm with Letitia. It's like, me and you ain't had no issues, so why do you go on interviews and talk about me? So I get where both of them are coming from. Letitia saying there's no issue and it shouldn't have been an issue. Quad is saying that there's no issue, but I do feel like there is an issue, Quad. And let's be real about it and call a thing a thing. I think the issue with Quad is you two motherfuckers came onto a show that I'm filming. This is my show. So you inadvertently had an issue with Letitia. It is what it is, right? So then Letitia told Quad she's a non-motherfucking factor. I was like, okay. Then, one Quad calls Letitia country. I was like, ma'am, you're from Memphis. You just as country as Texas, if not countryer. But okay. Then Tisha called her a Beverly Hillbilly. I was like, okay, very interesting, but hey, if that's what you want to say, go for it. Weird as hell. Then we talked about, Quads. Some of you are brought up the Rolls Royce and that Gregory is probably still driving that Mini Cooper. When they showed him driving off in that Mini Cooper again, bitch, I hollered. Letitia, girl, let it go. Because you keep saying allegedly that Quad. Well, you know what though? I did see something in the blogs about King and his Rolls Royces. Do I know the story? No. So I can't give y'all the story. But I did see a story in the blogs about him and them Rolls Royces. We also find out that Quad and King are doing IVF, right? Are they pregnant? Don't know. Moving on, you guys. Oh, one last thing before we move on. So Quad was talking about when she flosses her teeth, King gets hard. I done been around plenty of people that I'm, dating, in a relationship with. Flossing repulses me. How does it make your dick hard? Getting shit out of in between your teeth? That's nasty. That is nasty. Oh, that's nasty. So we sent out the package of Toya. So Andy asked Toya the question of who in this group, because he likes Toya's honesty, who in this group has had the most work done? She said Heavenly. Who in this group who in this group will have a hard time telling the truth? She says T. Then the next question was, who needs to immediately fire their stylist? She says T. Heavenly says Simone, and Simone said, "Fuck you, Heavenly." So then he asked her, who looks better, him or Anderson Cooper? That is a good question, you guys. Answer the question down in the comment section. Who do you guys think look better, Andy Cohen or Anderson Cooper? I want to know. Toya said Andy, but she hesitated when answering that question. I was like, "Oh, that's your boss, but you think Anderson Cooper look better?" She was like, "I mean, he's a little bit taller," and it was like, he is. So Andy didn't take it too bad, right? So after that, we talked about Toya and Eugene. Honestly, when it comes to Toya and Eugene, I know people have an issue with the fact that she was talking about how King looks and how Dr. Mimi's husband looks. I forget what his name is. But I know people had issues with that. Toya says that she has eye candy. Eugene has eye candy. Then people, talk, I guess the way that people say she talks to him. I don't think Eugene is just a waff. I think that their relationship works because he knows who he's married to. I think Eugene knows who he's married to. He does get embarrassed by Toya at times, but I think Eugene knows who he's married to. They've been married for 16 damn years. They're fine, right? Now, we found out that Toya got a new house. Toya, you in these houses. Girl, you stay in a new house. I kind of felt the way because she was talking about the fact that, she ain't never lived in nobody else's house. But let's not forget, when you had them tax issues, Toya, you had that house that y'all was living in before them tax issues. You weren't living in that house no more. You had to downsize that house. Remember that, Toya? Remember that? Okay. Letitia's not quick with it. Because if Letitia was quick with it, she could have stuck it to Toya. But she didn't. She didn't. Now, the next thing that we're going to talk about is this whole issue with, or non-issue with, actually, no, not non-issue. You guys remember, before the reunion, Letitia, I guess she has a YouTube channel, right? So she was on her YouTube channel, and she was talking about the fact that Heavenly and Toya wanted her to go at it with Quad. I believe her. Toya had an issue with Quad coming into season 10, especially after that whole Anila situation where they were accusing her of setting up Anila's house to get robbed. I would have an issue with Quad. Heavenly, let's be real about the situation. I think they all had a hand in this, and I think they all brought, advocated for Letitia and Gregory being on this show. Heavenly says that it's because for Quad to have a storyline. Yeah, it was for a storyline, and it was also because y'all thought that y'all were gonna get some drama and some ratings from that shit last season. But I think it fell flat for y'all. Let me know what y'all think. Let's pause here and wrap up the reunion part 1. So next up, you guys, we get Dr. Contessa. And Dr. Contessa said exactly what I've been saying for the last, how many weeks have we been watching this show? Because what episode was this last night? Reunion part 1 was episode 16. I've been saying this for the last 16 weeks. But nobody, it's like people don't want to listen to me when I tell y'all what Contessa's issue was with Heavenly. I feel like people didn't want to listen to me. So Contessa's issue literally was what I've been saying. Yes, her and Scott were going through issues in their marriage. Yes, she brought it on the show, right? We know that. She knows that. I don't think Contessa had an issue with reviewers, regular people on Twitter. I don't think she had an issue with anybody talking about her storyline. That wasn't Contessa's problem. Because everybody's like, oh, well, she brought it to the show. Yes, she brought it to the show. I think she brought it to the show thinking, okay, if I talk about this on camera, if the cameras catch it, then Scott will see what I'm talking about, and maybe he'll actually listen to me and we can actually get somewhere with our marriage. But when it comes to Heavenly, Heavenly is on her YouTube channel talking to me, you, everybody else in between, right? And then somebody comes in her, give her a super chat and asking her if she thinks that her friend's husband is abusive to her. The easiest thing that Heavenly could have said was, you know what, Contessa is my friend. And, you know, when it comes down to her marriage, I don't want to speak on her marriage. Like, let's be for real about the situation. Y'all, let's not forget, last season, Dr. Heavenly was more mad than Dr. Jackie was about the Hilton Head trip. Remember, she was pissed off at Simone about that trip and had shit to do with her. Let's be real. If this was Dr. Jackie talking about Lurch if this was Dr. Jackie talking about her issues in her marriage with Lurch, Heavenly wouldn't have spoke on it. Be for real about it. Heavenly would not have spoken on it. The same way Heavenly wouldn't have spoken on it for Dr. Jackie and Lurch, she should have did the same thing for Dr. Contessa and Dr. Scott. Just don't speak on it. Be like, you know, that's my friend, that's her husband. I don't know what's going on in their marriage. You know, I did see what, you know, her storyline is on the show. I have talked to my friend in private. I've given my friend some advice, and I've told my friend what she should do going forward, and leave it at that. We did find out that Dr. Contessa said that, you know, after that season, she and Dr. Scott, they went to counseling, they went to therapy, and they got help, right? And I was like, exactly, like, that's all it was. I told y'all it was the fact that it wasn't even the fact of Heavenly saying she thinks he's abused. It's the fact that she was saying it to people they don't know. Like, put yourselves in that situation. If you're on a reality show with a good friend of yours, a best friend of yours, and you are presenting a storyline to the viewing public, and your best friend or your good friend is talking to people and talking about you and your relationship, when Heavenly don't even talk about her and Damon's relationship on this show, how would you feel? Like, put yourself in her shoes, you guys. That's all I got. Like, that's really all it is. They went back and forth with each other, and we talked about the whole Heavenly talking about, you know, Contessa's mama. Contessa said it was worse than what she said, and Sweet Tea said, she said, fuck that bitch. Heavenly says, no, I said, fuck you, bitch. Jackie said she didn't hear it. Of course she didn't hear it. And then, you know, we talk about the whole thing of, I guess, Dr. Damon supposedly having mixed kids out there. Now, Toya and Simone, they didn't say nothing about the mixed kids, but Simone said that a woman came up to her and said that Damon asked for her phone number. Heavenly asked her, did she believe him? Toya said, well, I heard the same rumor. I heard the same thing as well. So, you know, like I said, Heavenly has skated for the last how many seasons? Heavenly came on season 2, right? So Heavenly has been on for 10 seasons. Like, so Heavenly has skated for the last 10 seasons. We're not talking about her marriage like that. But I mean, y'all go up for it. Y'all go up for it. That's all I got, you guys. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on your post notifications, share the video, you guys. Until the next time, stay safe, take care of yourselves, you guys. Wash your hands, be blessed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.